The Falcon Story. Once upon a time, in a grand kingdom, there lived a wise and powerful king who was renowned for his love of exotic and rare creatures. One day, a gift arrived from a distant land. Two magnificent peregrine falcons, the most beautiful birds the king had ever laid eyes upon. Overjoyed, the king entrusted these precious birds to his head falconer, tasking him to train them to become symbols of the kingdom's grace and power. Weeks turned into months, and one day the head falconer came before the king with a troubled expression. "Your Majesty," he said, bowing low, "one of the falcons has learned to fly beautifully. It soars high above the palace, its majesty unmatched. However, the other falcon, it has not moved from its branch since the day it arrived. No matter what we do, it refuses to take flight." Concerned, the king summoned healers, sorcerers, and wise men from across the kingdom. They examined the falcon and tried every method they knew to make it fly, but the bird stubbornly clung to its perch. The king's frustration grew. He offered a reward to anyone in the court who could solve the problem. Yet still, the falcon remained rooted to the same branch. One morning, as the king gazed out of his palace window, he saw the falcon still sitting motionless. Sighing deeply, he said to himself, "Perhaps the solution lies not in wisdom or magic, but in simplicity." With a sudden idea, he called for one of his courtiers and said, "Find me a farmer, someone who understands the rhythms of the land and nature." The court obeyed, and by the next morning the farmer arrived. Quietly and humbly, he made his way to the falcon's perch. He observed the bird for a moment, then nodded thoughtfully and went to work. The next morning, as the sun rose over the palace, the king was stunned to see not one, but both falcons soaring majestically across the sky. Elated, the king summoned the farmer. When the humble man stood before him, the king asked, "Tell me, how did you achieve what so many others could not? How did you make the falcon fly?" With his head bowed, the farmer replied, "Your Majesty, it was simple. I cut the branch where the bird had been sitting." The king fell silent, and a deep realization washed over him. The falcon had not been incapable of flight. It had simply been too comfortable, too afraid to leave the branch it clung to. By removing that comfort, the farmer had forced the falcon to embrace its nature, to fly. Just like the falcon, we often cling to our own branches, comfort zones, fears, or the safety of the familiar. But our true potential lies in letting go of those branches and daring to take flight. Sometimes all we need is a gentle nudge, or like the falcon, a branch removed, to discover the endless possibilities that await us in the open skies. Let go of fear and soar to the heights you were born to reach. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Destroy the branch of fear and free yourselves to the glory of flight.